Hey everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch channel on YouTube. If you're gonna ask me about Doomsday, um, the first thing that I think of is Doomsday, the movie with Rana Mitra, because well, she's just hot. Now, Doomsday is something that what comes up a lot in truther stuff on YouTube, and lately it's been 923, CERN, etc., etc. And it's September 25th, and I'm still here. World's still moving along. Now, 923 was by no means, like a 2012 thing, but if you were to YouTube search for 923, toss in maybe CERN in there, you will get 17,000 results, videos, most of which are September 23, 2015 chaos, CERN, the key to the abyss. A lot of people like me, I watch Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. It's a pretty good channel, but I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest. Okay, I've changed my mind about many things since I started my channel. If you look at my first videos and look at my last, say, 3 or 4 videos, you'll see that I've changed my opinion on certain things. One of the things that I've changed my opinion on is that I can find answers to uh, philosophical questions and spiritual questions in any form of religions, and definitely there's no answer coming from materialistic science that's bottled up by political pressure and peer pressure from basically atheists that by now are just beyond stupid. So, what about this? All this. You ever take a list, look at the list of all major doomsday predictions that have failed? It is enormous. It is an enormous list. Now, the thing that I have concluded after a lot of studying in the last couple of years, where I was able to really find time to focus my attention on all this stuff, is that a lot of stuff that, you start off with a premise, and that premise is flawed, and then you go off in your flawed direction, trying to make sense of the world based on faulty information. You go back to that old saying in computer languages that go back to the 80s when, it was garbage in, garbage out. So you put garbage in your mind, accept the premise, garbage comes out. Just listen to any atheist and you'll see that. It's spilling out garbage all over the place from their mental, puny philosophical positions. The other religious positions, though, aren't really much better. I mean, when you really think about it, when you really, really think about it, you know, most familiar with Christianity because I grew up in that and I went to Catholic school, and so I'm very familiar with that. Read the Bible a couple times, gave it a lot of serious thought. And what am I supposed to take away from this? That, I mean, when you really simplify the premise of certain Christian dogmatic beliefs, what am I supposed to believe? That I'm being punished because 2 people were deceived into breaking a rule they couldn't possibly know the consequences of, since they had no concept of evil. And then that the rest of the world is punished because of because of being deceived. That doesn't make any sense, people. It doesn't make sense. What does make sense is that there's definitely elites out there, or nefarious people with nefarious plans. But again, going back to 923, am I supposed to believe that all this predictive programming that you can find about 923 points to some nefarious plan? No, I don't think so. I think that now what I believe is that you can find the answers in science, and especially when you study the study of consciousness. It's quantum effects. ladies and gentlemen. That's what it really is. You have not in, you have our consciousness that is now being proved is being proven that exists beyond death. You don't believe me? Let me just bring up something here. This is just one article of many that if you dig down deep, you can start to find true answers to questions. Science does know the answers, but scientists that know the answers cannot say publicly or too loudly because they will be criticized or they won't get their funding. That's not science. That's just being dogmatic. That's scientism. That's being like the the atheists and scientists that are atheists behave in the same way that fundamentalist religious people do, where they just aren't interested in the truth. They just want to prove what they believe or what they want to be the truth. But here's the obviously this is a radical website, right? Right, you atheists out there, this has to be what is this? Some religious site? Bioethics Research Library, Georgetown University. Oh, it's a .edu site, right? Are we supposed to just ignore all these scientific studies that now pretty much can conclude beyond any doubt that consciousness exists outside the body and that it exists after death? I mean, honest scientists now are asking the legitimate question is, well, does that mean it lasts forever after death? Or does it fade away? What happens? So they've come that far now. They've come that far where scientists are willing to admit, legitimate scientists, that consciousness exists apart from the human body and it continues on after the human body dies. And what they're honestly asking now is, how long does that continue for? So, if your consciousness exists beyond physical death, it's time for atheists to go home, pack your bags, go back home, and think about it, because you guys are fucked up. But the religious people would like to make this fit whatever religion they have, so they're not much better. What's that got to do with 923? What's got to do with 923 is the global consciousness, the effect of millions of people focusing on an event. And then you start to see what you think is predictive programming, but what I now believe is the effect of quantum non-entangled minds focusing their attention on something, making then things happen that reflect what you're focusing on. It would take me hours and hours to explain that to somebody that hasn't done any research in it, but you can easily just start looking up quantum physics, consciousness, especially the science of consciousness. The information's all out there. The only question is, what can you discern from it? What are we supposed to think? Are we supposed to try to make this fit our personal religious beliefs, or just try to look for the truth no matter where it leads? I think that what I've been concluding as of late, and I haven't seen anything to change my mind, is that the universe is biocentric. If you can read Robert Lanza's book Biocentrism, it gives you a good collaboration between biology and quantum mechanics. But I really do believe that there's a lot to that notion, and that obviously from the near-death experiences we can conclude that there is a source, God, that created the universe, or may be the creator of consciousness, and the universe is then rendered for us to experience this physical reality, this reduced reality for some reason. But I don't think it's to punish us. And it's easier for me to say than somebody, say, living in some really horrible situation. But I believe that we're supposed to go through this part of our existence to get to something better. So that's what I choose to believe right now, because that is where the evidence to me That's where what the evidence is indicating. So just be nice to everybody. And if you're a doomsdayer, I recommend that you watch Doomsday with Rona Mitra, who is a good way to watch Doomsday without having to actually worry about all this crap. So just think about it. Is 923 appearing in old films because it was always there? Or is it quantum entanglement? Is it a reaction of the global consciousness mind that is timeless, affecting both the past, the present, and the future simultaneously through your intentions? I think that's how prayer works. I think that's how all kinds of supernatural effects are made to happen because of that phenomena. All right, take care. See you, bye.